The blizzard was unforgiving that night. Snowflakes the size of quarters battered the windshield of Officer Daniel Riley's patrol car as he slowly navigated the winding rural road. It was nearing midnight, visibility was nearly zero, and dispatch had warned him to wrap up his patrol and return to the station. But something didn't feel right. Daniel trusted his instincts. He always had, and tonight, they were whispering something was out there, something that needed him. Just as he turned a corner, his headlights caught a strange sight, a lone German shepherd, soaked, shivering, and standing dead center in the road. Its eyes glinted in the light, but it didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even bark. It just stood there. Daniel slammed the brakes and skidded slightly on the ice, heart racing, not just from the sudden stop, but from the intense gaze of the dog. He'd seen strays before, but this one was different. Purposeful, desperate. He stepped out, snow crunching under his boots. "Hey there, buddy," he called out gently, one hand on his holster, the other extended. The dog didn't growl. Instead, it turned sharply and darted into the woods. Daniel hesitated. Protocol would say to report the incident, maybe check back in the morning. But again, something in his gut told him to follow. So, grabbing his flashlight, he radioed in a vague update and plunged into the darkness after the dog. Branches whipped his face, and snow seeped into his collar, but the shepherd kept stopping just enough to let Daniel catch sight of him, guiding him deeper and deeper. Finally, after nearly 15 minutes of trudging through knee-deep snow, the dog stopped by a tree, barking frantically. Then Daniel heard it, a faint cry, not an animal, a baby. Heart hammering, Daniel rushed forward. At the base of the tree was an overturned SUV, almost completely covered in snow. The vehicle must have veered off the road during the storm, the tracks quickly buried. He called out, and the weak whimpering grew louder. Inside, a young woman was slumped over the wheel, barely conscious, a baby car seat beside her. Daniel radioed for emergency backup, kicking into full rescue mode. It took every ounce of strength to pry the door open and get them both out. The mother was suffering from hypothermia, and the baby, thankfully alive, was dangerously cold but stable. As he wrapped the baby in his jacket, Daniel turned to look at the German shepherd. The dog had sat down quietly in the snow, tail wagging gently, tongue lolling, as if to say, mission accomplished. The ambulance arrived just in time. EMTs rushed the mother and child into warmth and safety. Daniel stayed behind for a moment with the dog, crouching beside him. "You saved their lives," he whispered. He looked for a collar, none. The dog was lean, hungry, and clearly alone. "Where's your owner, boy?" he asked. The shepherd just looked at him, head tilted, ears perked. Back at the station, Daniel took the dog with him. No one came forward to claim him. Flyers, shelters, radio announcements, nothing. It was as if he had just appeared out of the storm when he was needed most. Daniel named him Ghost, a quiet tribute to the mysterious way he arrived, and the lives he'd saved. Ghost became the station's unofficial mascot. Officers would bring him treats. Children visiting on school tours would line up to pet him. But most of all, he became Daniel's partner. In time, Ghost was trained formally and became a full-fledged K-9 officer, certified in search and rescue. Over the years, Ghost helped find missing hikers, lost children, even locating an Alzheimer's patient who'd wandered into the woods. Each time, his quiet heroism reminded everyone at the precinct, and the community, that sometimes, angels don't have wings. They have 4 paws, and they walk beside us when we need them most. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this story, the mother and her baby, Lena and little Ava, visited Ghost every Christmas. They never forgot. Ava grew up with Ghost as her hero, sending drawings of him each year. When she was old enough, she told her classmates the story of how a German shepherd saved her life. Ghost passed away peacefully at 13 years old, lying beside Daniel's chair at the station. His service was attended by hundreds. Officers from neighboring towns, families he'd helped, and yes, Ava, now a teenager, stood to honor the dog who'd once stood in a snowstorm, refusing to let tragedy win. If this story moved you, share it with someone who believes in the power of loyalty, love, and second chances. Ghost's legacy reminds us that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes, they have fur. Subscribe to Positive Tales for more real-life stories that celebrate the incredible bonds between humans and their 4-legged companions. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a tale that warms your heart and inspires your soul.